learning how to separate being a fan and being a professional, and learning how to walk or work amongst these people in the same room. That one experience. And I actually took my best friend at the time with me, and I told him, I said, yo, whatever this is, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Sign me up. No.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, you guys, I love interviewing other publicists, journalists, consultants, so you know it's going to be a good one. I have Miss Kenya Sheats, who is a celebrity journalist. She has PR clients all over. She went to an HBCU. She didn't go to the Harvard of the South, Grambling State, but she went to Clark Atlanta University. So, you know, AU Circle, you gotta love it and fall in love with it when you're there. Miss Kenya, welcome to the Diversified Game.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm amped. I'm excited, and great intro, by the way.
It's easy when I have someone who, you know, is as gifted as you, and as I've told you, you just got a look and an aura about you that is just like, yeah, you know, like that. That's a nice person.
And you mentioned Kenya of Africa. You meant to say Kenya of the South. That's what you told me.
South. That is right. That Kenya is right. That is what I said. Kenya of the South. You know, I love Kenya so much. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh wow. Okay.
I keep my Kenya band. Yes. My Ethiopian friends will say, "What happened to the Ethiopian band?" You know, it pops off when I'm working out. But yeah, the Kenya of the South, you know, you wrote this book, which I looked, you know, 100 Sheets is on Amazon. I see it's 103 pages. So
I tried to do it at 100.
No, it's awesome. You know, what we have to say is that Amazon, sometimes they have to add a page, you know, you got to add this, add that. And I'm really trying to get my levels right, because I want to be able to see you at a certain level, and I want to see myself. But there we go. Yeah. Talk about your road to, you know, writing, your road to PR. To me, to be a publicist, you kind of need to be a writer, I think, you know, first. But I want to get into it on how your journey started.
Wow. So what's up, everybody? It's your girl, author Kenya Sheets, celebrity journalist, publicist, your favorite ghostwriter. And also the CEO of My Way Magazine, a faith-based lifestyle publication, faith-based lifestyle entertainment publication here on online. But my journey as a writer is actually like it's as though it was predestined. Like, my last name is Sheets, but it's only with one E and not you know, with an A. But you know, outside of that, it's like I've just always been like this storyteller. I noticed my love or my passion for writing when I was in the 7th grade. I've actually been in my mom's attic, and I've found my old writing prompts, you know, from like 2003, 2002, 2004, when I was in middle school. And it's like I've been writing as though I've been a journalist all my life. Like, even the layout, the format of my style of writing, I was doing at 12 and 13. I took interest in poems. I just took interest in sharing my point of view. That going into media in 8th grade, I was actually a part of this segment called Cooper News, and I worked with 2 Caucasian girls, Lindsay and Kenzie. I was in 8th grade, they was in 6th grade, but we did the news together, and we rotated positions from the operator to the control switchboard operator, the anchor, to the producer, which was dope. I was doing that in 8th grade every Friday at 9:00 in the morning to going to high school, and I took video broadcasting level 1 through 5. I had my own personal camera. I used to take pictures of everyone. I got my first job at Kodak. Literally, I'm just building up to this moment in media. And I remember I was looking for an internship, and I got turned down from Emory Communications, which was a real big opportunity at the time, but it didn't happen for me. And I ended up interning for an online publication by the name of Fame Magazine. And when I did my first article. I believe it was like on Angela Simmons and her fashion. And I seen my name online. I was like, yo, this is dope. Like I got published work and I'm always on the internet. MySpace was my thing, right? And or Twitter. So at that time, I just took and ran with the opportunity. It was like, okay, I didn't get this one, but I was able to get this. And I was a junior in college at Clark Atlanta University. And from there, I was covering red carpet. I was going to class by day, covering red carpets by night. Just being in the atmosphere of, just celebrities or just covering like real profound events that's going on in the community, to say that I graduated with my degree from Clark Atlanta in journalism. And once I graduated, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep writing. And what was a college project that I did at Clark, I had to create an 8-page and a 16-page prototype magazine. I turned it into reality. And what I took from the internships, I started my own online publication, and I got my own interns, and I would edit their articles and I would publish it online. Like I had this creative mindset and I was doing all this for free. I wasn't generating any money, but I was teaching like high school to college students how to find their voice, how to, express their views, to be authentic, and to have a voice, on a platform, and speak up for their peers. So I say all that to say, it's been 6 years now or 7 years now that I've been telling everyone else's story, that I still gone through life challenges, that I had my own story to tell. And at first I was scared to tell my story because it's the truth, right? And sometimes we're not ready to face it, but I healed throughout this process of 100 Sheets. And I had to face some demons, face the realities that I tried to escape from. But throughout that, my imperfections has helped to heal and inspire a lot of people, through my vulnerability. So my journey of being a publicist, as a writer, like everyone is born with a gift, but it's meant for us to tap in, and it's a choice. You get what I'm saying? It's meant for us to, but either we do it or we don't. And I've hound this skill for so long that it's literally paying me, and it's amazing. I love it, and I do it for free at the end of the day too. And that's my story.
Hopefully you don't do it for free too much, and we'll get into your community.
No, but if I can give, I will give.
Get into that. We're gonna get into that, but I want to let people know, because to me, look at the year you graduated. I look at what I was doing in business, and I'm like, oh, that's a young publicist. I can finally say that, because I remember, like yourself, starting in the middle school, writing for the paper and doing different things. Being around the celebrities, people hear that and say, oh yeah, I want to do that. But it's not easy to deal with celebrity, but it's also not easy to deal with it when you're a woman. And when you are an attractive woman, I could only imagine, because I know I've said, man, they only gave that background interview because, she looked like a model, whatnot. Mm-hmm. Those things happen. Our current president, bases people off looks alone. And the fact that you look like you could be, on the magazine or on the TV, how have you, played that dance? And what type of advice would you give, especially women? Not that it's only women that get hit on in this industry. We know it's
understood.
You live in Atlanta, so you get it. It's a different world than I live in. So I'm not going to tap into it because I don't know enough about, going around the whole farm and all that. But can you give some advice on how you dealing with celebrities as a publicist and journalist?
I think that when you know who you are, then you're able to stand firm and confident in a room filled with people. You get what I'm saying? The celebrity is the attention, right? And just the mass of everyone knowing their business. But just being able to stay true to who I am and understand behaviors of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I know how to be sexy fully clothed. You feel what I'm saying? I don't go out to events because at the end of the day, to me, I'm with my coworkers. This might be media, this might be entertainment, but this is our work environment, right? So I'm always cautious about how I present myself, because I know at the end of the day, I work with these people, right? Even though this is fun. Now sometimes it is a time and a place to be cute, jazzy, and sexy, but you can still be sexy fully clothed. I also think everything starts with conversation as well, getting to know people's intentions, and just being able to listen. And most people, you find out what they want to know as long as you hear them, let them speak. And believe people when they show you who they are the first time. But to me, like when I first came on, just being around any type of celebrity, I was volunteering at the So Def 20th anniversary concert here in Atlanta. Um, and I was a volunteer. I was able to link with Clark Atlanta's student body radio station, General Body, and I just signed up. And from there, I was a volunteer doing a press check-in, media check-in, and I'm checking in Vibe Magazine, 106 in Park, Hip Hop Weekly, like all hip hop, all access hip hop, something like that. And I'm a volunteer, And then it was like, okay, well, we're gonna now switch you out to be the escort on the red carpet. Okay, I've never done this before. So, with the PR firm that I was with, 135th Street, who is basically now ran or was ran by Saptosa Foster, she didn't play the radio when it came to celebs. So, yes, I was working the red carpet or ushering these celebrities down the carpet, but we couldn't take pictures. I wasn't to be a fan. You get what I'm saying? I had on all black. I looked as though I was a part of the crew, you know. And it was just a respect from the publicist to the talent. So this is me, young me at what 29, at like 1920 and or 2021, and I'm walking ushering the red carpet with Carl Thomas, with Usher, I mean not Usher, Carl Thomas, Bow Wow, the Brat, Jermaine Dupri, Jagged Edge. I mean, literally, I'm a volunteer, okay, at the So Def 20th anniversary party. And at that point, it was like, because she began me off that way to not be a fan, to not be so celebrity, I learned how to shout and scream internally. That next day, the actual concert was at the Fox Theater in Atlanta. I've been to the Fox Theater, but never been inside. This was my opportunity. And this was when I first had my experience of a press, a red carpet press junking, or, just the press that goes behind the scenes. That was just my first time experience. And they said, well, you did good yesterday. We want you back on the carpet. And at this time, it was even bigger. People there, was a lot of media there. Fredio, I don't know if you're familiar with Fredio art or Fredio.com, but he was there. He's real popular today. Had an opportunity to intern for him when I was in college as well. But that was my first time ever experiencing celebrity and being behind the scenes and being media, but also learning how to separate being a fan and being a professional, and learning how to walk or work amongst these people in the same room. That one experience. And I actually took my best friend at the time with me, and I told him, I said, yo, whatever this is, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Sign me up. No lie. I literally been walking in that same road, whatever it is, since that volunteer opportunity. But it has shown me what it's like to be someone that is working behind the scenes and someone who can actually enjoy it.
And at some level, you went from volunteer to, professional. Are you from Atlanta? I know you also went to school in Alabama before going to Clark. Are you from Atlanta?
Yes. So I'm from Cobb County. Okay, it's 30 minutes outside of downtown Metro Atlanta, but it don't take, there's nothing to get on 20. But I went to Alabama State actually 2 weeks after high school. I graduated high school and I went to college, right? But I went through like this summer bridge program. I didn't have the best scores, so I had to go through that program. And but once I got admitted into the freshman year, I had like a 4.0 during the summer program. They gave me a scholarship on Amtrak. Like, I literally proved that I was supposed to be there. I actually got my first work study at WVAS, which was the on-campus radio station And there I was like the do girl for the secretary, the little admin that sat at the desk. I got the mail. I did commercial logs, or I would be able to work with the news team. I went to my first press conference downtown Montgomery, or I was able to work with the general body radio station, Bama State Radio, and I did my first drop or PSA, which was pretty dope. But Alabama State really, it's an HBCU. I will always be a Hornet. I will always be a Hornet. Black and gold for real. I loved Alabama State because it was different for me. It was a different setting. It wasn't home. You know what I'm saying? Like my family doesn't travel. Like we're so close knit here in our space. It's like that was the opportunity for me to get away, and I'm the only child. But that experience alone was amazing. I loved Alabama State. I did my core classes there, so I didn't really get to tap into media, but that opportunity of having a work study and being in the radio station was my opportunity.
No, that's awesome. Well, let's talk about the business of, PR, let's say, because I found that, coming up doing this for dang near 2 decades, the how to do this professionally, people always ask, how do you get your clients to pay so much money? And I tell them, you just got to keep doing it and proving what you can do. Because I don't just do PR. We've turned into just kind of full blown consulting, and we can give that PR arm. But, I always hear from influencers that aren't clients, I didn't know it was going to be that expensive. Yeah. And of course, just like yourself,
Yes.
has the online magazine, as well as, does some travel agent, business. And so you're working on your 7 streams, which everybody should work on their 7 streams. But how did you get into like finding out how much you should get paid, having clients pay you on time, and valuing your time?
So like when I started, I said do things for free. Okay. So I've always just been that person where it's like when you're an entrepreneur, those free opportunities is how you build your portfolio, because that's the first step on how to say I've done this work, so that's why I can now charge this. You get what I'm saying? Like you need to have some type of prototype. You need to have some type of experience. And that was for me. I've always have been able to take on the internships that paid in experience, because I knew that the more that I take on, the people I'm going to meet, the rooms, the conversations, the tables, you get what I'm saying? The moments, like that's priceless. So I used to battle with creating a price list. Okay. And I couldn't really understand like how to base my, what's my worth, what's my rates. And I used to base it off of what people could afford. I wasn't basing it off of how much my bills was due. Okay, so when you realize I'm doing all this work and I still don't have anything, it's like you start to question, is this what I'm supposed to do? Or you start to rebuild business plans and rebuild price sheets, and it's like, but you still ain't solidified anything. So what I did was I just, again, continue to take on opportunities that I got to the point where it's like, Kenya, you're no longer an intern. You're the real CEO. You know what I'm saying? Like you have intern your butt off. Like when people say it's so hard to find a job after college, no, you were supposed to get an internship throughout college. That's what you were supposed to do, but you turned up. That was your job, to be the party promoter for free. That was your job. And if you're not going into business for marketing and advertisement, then you have the wrong career. But I say all that to say, I just had so much experience, so much knowledge, was doing so much for free, has been working with so many, high profile names, that it was like, yo, like this is the leverage, this clout or whatever. Like you have enough experience, a track record, result driven. Not even that. Like you got to understand, my resumes that I was writing was getting people jobs, was relocating them, that was promoting them. I wrote a missions graduation letter for someone, and she got into both schools. She reached out to me for. So the results, the deliverables, people are paying for deliverables. People are paying for the impact, right? So you got to actually interview my recent clients with the acres. Like, I just had them go viral. You get what I'm saying? Off of a strategy that I was able to say, I know that if you do this and we put it on this platform, I didn't know it was gonna go viral, but the strategy. And as publicists, it's our goal to have a strategy. So once I hit the last caliber of, oh, Kenya, you really know what you got going on. What I was selling at $150, I'm selling at $1,500. You get what I'm saying? What's $250 is $2,500, because it's the same service, but look at the impact. Look at the deliverable, right? So we want to focus on the impact of things. What are people want to know? Like Donnell Jones, I love him. That's an amazing client, but he understands, like, I'm paying for my publicist. So when I book him and schedule him, he shows up. You get what I'm saying? Because people understand that PR, it's a price, but it's like he wants everything out of his dollar.
Well,
And but it's
go
also appreciation.
go deeper in explaining how you measure that, because that's a question they always ask, and I'm so fortunate now to I don't have to close clients anymore. I can, but I choose not to do other things with my day, because people always want to know, well, if I give you this, how much am I going to make? And then folks say, well, I don't know, and you can tell them a decision number, and say, hey, this costs this, but if I give you $100,000 off one placement, you can't pay me $100,000. So can you talk about, the tools you use? Maybe you like Meltwater. I use Cision. What are some of the things where clients can say, hey, I got this much press and it's valued at this? Because like I know, sometimes a client will say, well, that didn't help me sell any books. You might have booked me for 30 days, but that didn't help me sell any books. And that is why we do more consulting now than anything, to teach, because I got to take that time to teach you how this works. So how do you tell the people and share that with them?
So I'm not just a publicist that represents any kind of story. I want an impactful story. I want to be moved by your story. So I'm gonna just lay it out. So the way that I was able to connect with Freedom Georgia, shout out to Freedom Georgia, is that I seen that they had, once they acquired the 96.71 acres of land, they shared that video. I'm connected with Ashley as a friend, so somebody tagged her, sharing that they purchased the land. And I said, oh wow, this is amazing, in the comments. Oh wow, this is amazing. Let me know if you need a publicist. From that, I was able to get a message from Ashley later, and that one conversation to creating a proposal in like 48 hours was like, okay, boom, I'm their publicist. But it was the 19 Black families. You get what I'm saying? It was the story. It's not that Black people don't buy land. It was the story. 19 Black people work together. It's literally 19 of us that's working against each other. You get what I'm saying? There's literally 19 of us that are literally go put in and go get barbecue, go get the weed, go drink. But these families say, okay, none of that matters. We're going to find a solution in the midst of COVID and police brutality and everything that we have going on right now to better our families, to better our lives. And I think at that time, it was the timing. It was the timing of the story. And it was, again, the strategy. I just knew that this one platform, because believe it or not, I was told as a publicist that 19 Black families buying 96 acres of land was not newsworthy. It wasn't newsworthy. Like I was told, like I was reaching out to people trying to create me a little PR team, and if even there she go with something else, and it was like, at that point I couldn't be defeated. Like I literally went into prayer and I included God into the entire PR strategy. Like, I need you to go before me and I need you to make miracles happen. I want to be connected with people. Like, I had to speak life over this because I believed in what they did. It's a difference. Like, a lot of people don't believe in their clients. A lot of people take on clients because it's a paycheck. You get what I'm saying? Like, I believed in their vision. I supported them wholeheartedly. It wasn't a waste of time for me. So even with, the backlash, or this isn't a story, or, whatever, I stayed consistent. I just stayed consistent. And I knew, I said, look, this Blavity platform, I knew it. Blavity. I said, this Blavity platform is, because I've submitted to Blavity. I follow them, and PR is not marketing, but it is. But I knew that Blavity was a medium that's literally in the middle. I knew that platform would get an article, because Ashley, she wrote an article, she wrote a blog post on the Freedom Georgia website. And I'm like, yo, can I use that article to submit as an op-ed, or can you write me something similar? She said, I'm just going to write something new. I said, okay, so you do that, and this is where we're going to put it. And it literally came together like the perfect gumbo. And I went from not being able to secure press, and listen, publicists, don't ever feel like when the press is coming at you that, and it seems easy, that wasn't that you didn't make that happen. Because though it may seem like my clients went viral and I had CNN, Business Insider, Forbes, and everybody else coming at me, or the same people that told me that it wasn't newsworthy, begging to get an interview, if it wasn't for the first strategy, I wouldn't been able to do that. Because I could have felt defeated. I could have looked over Blavity, and I could have just been trying to just struggle. But something in me said, your outlets, you see how things are monitored. And at this point, Blavity was posting the first black, the first black, the first black, the first black. And I understand, as a writer, that subject line, that title has to be captivating. That's the first thing everybody looks at. That lead needs to be strong, and your headline needs to be strong. So when we went over, Ashley sent the article, I read the article, and listen, before we submitted it, the main thing that we did was tighten the headline. That was the main thing. How was we gonna write it? And we polished it up, and the rest is viral. Okay. We have France, Germany reaching out to us.
So it's really personal to you. Do you have a formula, though? And this is for potential clients and publicists, especially the young ones, to say this is how you measure it, because the measuring is the part where a lot of folks get a hiccup.
How measure how many placements I'm going to get them, or what's the reach?
Well, how that can get the ROI, explaining that to the client.
The return on investment. Okay, so yeah, that was the last part that I missed. So with that being said, the goal was to help my clients to reach their GoFundMe goal, which was at $88,000, is at $88,000. When I met them, it was at $664. Their GoFundMe, when I last checked, was at $79,000. So the return on investment was the $79,000. So yeah, you get what I'm saying? It was an impactful story. I put it in the medium, and it was the story. It was the purpose. It was the movement. It was the reason why they did what they did. A lot of people forget the why. Everybody wants to put in the press release their accolades, but what's your why? We connect off of emotion. Your return on investment is your why. If you don't have a why, and you can't understand that the news can manipulate us by being our emotions, and you can't manipulate the news, but manipulating in a way that this sparks a revolution in people, because now everybody wants to buy land in Freedom, Georgia. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, to even know that I watched the GoFundMe from $664 to $79,000. That's a miracle, and I stand behind it. And it was just fun to watch, but it was also that they got on camera and they were sincere. You get what I'm saying? And they had purpose. You know, everything, like my clients went from saying, Kenya, we were just normal people 3 weeks ago. Like our phones is blowing up, you know, like people, I'm like on the phone with Pam from CNN. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so you turn this way. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, so ABC Live is here. You know, like I literally things just manifested for us, but it was we all moved on the same drum. It was a profound story. I can't say that would happen with every client that I would bring on, but to measure the success is to measure the story. And and for me, when you come on as my client, and because I'm a journalist first, so I know the story. I'm a journalist first before I'm a publicist. I always let people know that I'm a journalist first. So that means I know what it's like to receive inquiries.
I love it. And I love that. Okay, you guys, if this is all new to you, the amazing, PR, but at the end of the day, when folks are writing a check, they want to know how much money you made me. She made these ladies.
But first of all, I'm not hired. First of all, I'm not hiring clients. That's one thing. When you hire me as a publicist, I'm only putting you in the press. It's no such thing as I put you in the press and you make money.
No,
that's not why you.
That's what they miss.
But that's when, as a publicist, though, that's when, see, when I have consultations, I lay out what's going to happen to them. So if I don't mention I'm going to help bring your sales up at $5,000, that's not a part of the plan. You get what I'm saying? So my clients know when I come on board, I'm helping you to identify your brand, communicate your marketing message effectively, and to get you in the press. All I did was get my clients in the press, and the people who were at home decided if they wanted to invest. That's it. So my clients will be measuring up to say, if I bring somebody on and I do a package, I create all their press materials, and then I tell them, because I know I have relationships with people, that I'm going to do a 30-day PR campaign, and I can literally guarantee them 3 to 5 interviews that month. That's all that they worrying about. They not worrying about if they gonna make money behind this. Is, can this girl get me the press she says that she's gonna get me? My goal for Donnell Jones was to do 10 interviews for the month of October, and I closed him out at 15.
All right, let me recap for the folks. If you didn't hear that, her client started at 600 and are now almost at their goal at 79,000. I promise you, Kenya didn't hit them over the head and saying, I need 10% of that. And so she just made them more money than you could have ever offered.
Listen, that it's amazing.
It's amazing. And that's why the balloons got to come down. And I want folks, when they hear this, to say, wait, I have a GoFundMe, and to hit you up because you have the right spirit about it. You're passionate about it.
We're going to tell your story the right way. Sometimes, and that's a lot of people. That's why you come to Kenya Wright for me. People come to me, like I tell you, I help to organize and formulate your thoughts. Like people can say, Kenya, like I agree with you, but I just don't know how to word it. Like people just don't know how to word it. And I'm like, I got the gift of gab, man. I have like I'm like a wordsmith. Like when I talk, somebody told me the other day, she was like, girl, you sound like Monica. I hate how Monica talks. And this is no offense, I think she's an amazing artist. But when she said, you sound like Monica, I said to her, I'm off duty. I'm off duty. But when I write, though, like I'm such a gospel writer. Like I'm very faithful when I write. That's why this is an inspirational memoir expressing God's love through vulnerability. Like I'm always going to put my client or that story in the best light. Even if I'm covering celebrity news, it's going to be the best of them. And I think the best of people is what inspires people, right? Or the tragedy to triumph of something. Like you went from this, or y'all went to therapy, because they went to therapy, one had bad anxiety, and they was just depressed because of the shootings and the killing that was going on. And in the midst of their adversity, they were able to birth something. And I think It's the birthing that people need to be able to communicate with their audience, and they need to know who the hell is their audience. People, I could have tried to put that article on every other platform, but that every other platform wasn't their audience. You get what I'm saying? Like, I knew that this audience was what who they needed. So as a journalist or as a publicist, we got to do better with research. We can't look at the number, and that was a great thing. Blavity had a great number, but their audience was literally Black. Like, they have a pro-Black audience, and at this point 19 Black people just wrote 96 acres, so that's a win-win. So we need to know better on our outlets.
Do you also write music, a movie, songs, scripts, screenplays? What else do you do?
I took a college course in poetry. I love poetry. I mean, my writing is poetry, honestly. In third grade, me and my best friend used to write songs. We used to sing all the time. I grew up listening to music, being around music, all of that stuff. But writing for me has always been storytelling. Do you know, I know how to write curriculums, which it was like when I started my magazine publication, once I graduated high school, I started an internship, but I had like onboarding papers, the terms and agreements and conditions. And I would take the college syllabus and I would use that format, but I would reword it to my liking, and to the point where I didn't need a template anymore. I can literally write you up a contract. It's crazy. I mean, I'm not as legal in business. Like, I can't do what the lawyers do with contracts and attorneys do with contracts, but just, having like a disclaimer or just the word copy for certain things. Like, I don't turn down. I'm not like a tech industry person, but if a tech client was to come my way, I'm gonna take it on board, because I love being able to learn new things. And it's just a voice, it's just verbiage. And I do my research. I'll go to the store. I literally look at the source every day, because I want to know a synonym. It's like, how can I say this without, repeating the same word? But I'm really like into words. I don't do a lot of reading books, but I'm reading articles. I'm always online, or I'm just always editing content. So it's like my mind is wired that way.
With the success that you're having, what is a community give back that you are doing or that you want to do in the future?
Well, my community give back right now is me mentoring and mentoring this brilliant young lady named Tiara Sheffield. She is a student at University of Alabama, UAB. And this is her senior year. And we linked up on LinkedIn. Listen, y'all, I know how to get the connections on LinkedIn, but we connected on LinkedIn. And she's official. Like, she's getting a whole college course. But my struggle as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is delegation. I've always wanted to do everything my way, hence the name of my publication. And I just want to do it myself. But I have so much on my plate now that I can't do everything. So Tiara has been a blessing. And I'm real stingy on who I give free game. So that's like my real community outreach, because I'm like, girl, I told her that the other day, I said, please don't leave me. Like, when you learn everything, because she's learning so much and she knows how to adapt. She knows she's getting everything on how to operate her own business. Like, she is getting it from me. And I'm kind of threatened, because if I make her so good, she might go. But at the same time, it's just fun to see that someone is able to receive my coaching and that she's learning, and we just both interviewed a millionaire last week. Like, we tag team on an interview. Like, somebody came in, I polish her up all the time. Like, this lady, she does the TLC, the NutriBurst, but like, she's up there with Coach Stormy. Like, she's Coach Stormy's right hand, and she makes quite a lot of money. But me and my intern, we double teamed that interview last week, and it was awesome.
No, that is awesome. And I appreciate the game, because I can tell you, I'm a czar. If you are a czar, you know
Yeah.
community is, how it is. And very few folks behind the scenes like to come in front of the camera, even if they do have a book. They want to kill him. That's I'm old school. Al Heyman is one of the people that I really look up to in the deals that he does. But Al Heyman will never come on air to talk about any of this. He hasn't done an interview in over 40 years. So I
Wow.
appreciate when someone does come give the game, because we have a lot of people who are not knowing, and they devalue themselves, which then they devalue it for the next person that comes.
Right.
And when someone hits them with an invoice and people say, that's too much money, so and so said they do it for $500. And we have a saying over here that we don't even open up our computers for $500. Like, we might brush it off and blow it off, right?
That's the minimum.
When the government is giving $40,000 for someone to create a Twitter and not make one tweet, y'all better believe $500. If that's your lane, unless you're in school right now, go somewhere else, because you can go to PTAC, SBA, Score, and find
Yeah.
out who has those $40,000 contracts, because you want to kind of live like Kenya Sheats. If you follow her on Instagram, you see how she just living a fabulous life. I think she might have hired Mr. Bentley. I'm just throwing that rumor out there. I don't know. But
Let me tell you, Atlanta is wide open, and I have been blessed to be on some people's minds and some VIP lists and media lists and stuff. But I mean, this year alone, like when you talk about beauty and things, like this is my this is the most that I've loved myself. This is the most that I've embraced myself. This is the most that I've come behind the scenes, and not hide behind the camera. Like this book or the products that I was using to lose weight has helped to, it helped me to exude confidence or just to become the best version of myself. So my experiences, I believe I'm enjoying a little more because I'm feeling myself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like actually taking pictures, or like I like my pictures, not just okay, I just need one to post, but enjoying me. And that's what you see. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. I'm just grateful because I've been doing this literally since 2012, 2013, and I don't see the same people that I started with. I'm not around the same people that I started with. So life is different for me, but I definitely have the sauce. You know what I'm saying? I have the drive, I have the faith, um, I have the prayer life, I have just the anointing, or the desire to fulfill whatever plan God has for me, and to be authentically Kenya, to be unapologetic, to be intentional. All those characteristics that make us great people um is what I desire to possess. And that's what you see when you look at me.
that
But
is
I still had to go. I was just in the ER last week. You get what I'm saying? Like, due to just some pain that festered, and a cyst festered under my breast, and I thought it was something else. And literally, like, I was confused. I'm like, I've been healthy all year. Look, I've been healthy all year. I've been healthy all just this year, right? And I'm like, how did this happen? But it sat me down, because that was the most that I've been still this whole quarantine. Once they said y'all gonna be locked in the house, my homebody self said, well, I'm gonna be outside. Since everybody on the inside, I'm gonna be outside. So I haven't really sat down. But that sat me down, and it just put me in a place of gratefulness, gratitude, different perspective. And I say all that to say I go through a lot of adversities. When I wrote this book, um, I actually fell down the steps in my home. I fell down wooden stairs, and then I also lost a best friend. So it birthed this book. Um, my best friend was Sean killed while I was in college, and that birthed my magazine. So when I had this cyst under my breast and I was literally losing my mind last week, it didn't birth a product or a service. it birthed me. It birthed because we sleep on it. We can sleep on ourselves. We can doubt ourselves. We don't bet on ourselves. And I think it was like, girl, God still has you here with purpose. You know what I'm saying? He ain't done with you yet. So it's like whatever you've been worried about or you've been down about, or you ain't just all the way just became fully comfortable in your newness, because life is different. Clothes fit different. I look different. The attention is different. Um, I just have to own my greatness. Like I recognized it before, but now I'm owning it and it just feels good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad she's giving the game. Y'all got the game. I'm not going to give you a game overload. She's shown you how she started, sustained, and is succeeding.
Thank you.
Kenya's information will be in the description box. She's doing great things. She's talking about weight loss. You know, I'm 200 pounds, y'all, and I feel happy. They say us fat folks are the happiest folks, but you be.
I was fat and happy too.
But Kenya, I thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Be blessed. Keep doing what you're doing and just get better at it.
Amen. Thank you so much. I enjoyed you, Kellen.